Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned.
Yesterday's video was about standards. Today we're going to talk about victims. And I saw something last night on TV. Almost made me lose my dinner. There's a court case going on. Lady by the name, and I use the term lady very loosely, by the name of Lindsay Clancy. And all of you are going to know that name because of the likes of people like, Nancy Grace, because they always glorify the alleged, the criminal, the hijacker, the assailant, sometimes the murderer. It's been happening for about 30 years. And I'll take you back to South Carolina. Lady by the name of Susan Smith that blamed a black American man with gold teeth, she was very specific about that, of stealing her car at a gas station and then driving the vehicle into a lake with her 2 kids in the car seats in the back. Now, she's doing 30 years in prison. She's due to be paroled very soon. I'm sure she's rehabilitated. I'm sure she has, got a college degree on the taxpayer's dime. And I'm sure she is very sorrowful for everything she did. Sadly, those 2 kids in that back seat don't get that same opportunity to regret anything. And that's what's going on right now with this Lindsay Clancy. But I turned on the TV and I saw these hundreds of women standing outside of a courthouse, all wearing pink. I thought it was a Code Pink rally. You know what I think about Code Pink. But I don't think there's a whole lot of difference in a Code Pink rally and what I witnessed. But they're all calling for Lindsay Clancy to be released. Now, I'm not saying that Lindsay Clancy didn't have some problems. I don't know anything about postpartum depression because I'm a dude and I can't have babies. Now, that is real. Mental health is real. Mental health problems are real. I have some friends that I had to attend their funerals because of mental health problems. They suffered from PTSD and they thought there was another way out. And I believe that's what happened here. Now, that doesn't excuse what this woman did. And if you don't know the names of her children, it is Cora, Dawson, and Callan. 3 innocent children that she took their lives away from them. And now you've got hundreds of wine moms, and I'll say most of them eat cat food and drink Riunite outside of this courthouse, basically campaigning for her to be released. The court system is at fault. The justice system is at fault. Her doctor is at fault. Mental health crisis is at fault. Her neighbors didn't like her. It's their fault. It's everyone's fault except hers. Does this sound familiar? Does it sound similar to what we're seeing? Susan Smith, Casey Anthony. Remember Casey Anthony? She had a daughter. That daughter right now would be a teenager, probably graduating from college soon. Kaylee, I believe, is the name of that young girl that lost her life. Casey Anthony is out now. I'm sure she's working for, probably Code Pink or the Southern Poverty Law Center. I don't know who she's working for. That's irrelevant. I don't believe she just should have ever seen the light of day after prison. That's my opinion. You're entitled to yours, and I'd love to get your opinion down below. While you're doing that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe while you're leaving a comment, sharing your opinion, because I read all of them. Now, what we've seen over the last year, specifically the last 11 months, is the way that the victim has been forgotten. The victim's name gets dragged through the mud. Nobody's talking about this Lindsay Clancy's husband, the grandparents that'll never be able to attend a birthday party, never be able to attend a prom or a graduation, or walk one of those girls down the aisle to get married, or hold one of those grandchildren. Nobody's talking about that. It's all about Lindsay Clancy. And they roll her in her wheelchair, because after she took those 3 kids' lives, she jumped out the window. And I believe she's got some problems now. She can't walk, might be paralyzed. Something else could have happened, save the taxpayer a lot of money on this court case and a lot of coverage. But that's neither here nor there. But some of these other names, Casey Anthony, Susan Smith, Carmelo Anthony, no relation to the basketball player or to Casey, but they have all been glorified. They have all been empathized. And empathy in this country is running rampant. Now, I'm going to say this. When I was in the Navy and I was on a submarine, everybody makes mistakes. Mistakes on submarines cost lives. Mistakes on submarines cost missions. Luckily, you have an entire crew there to hold whoever made that mistake accountable after they save the ship. And right now, America, in my opinion, should be ran like a submarine. We have to have accountability. We have to have correction. We have to have an emergency response before we can worry about the compassion. And that might sound harsh to some people, but that's the reality of it. Through my travels, I've had a chance to become friends with some real American heroes, and I'm not one of them. A guy by the name of Robert Lentz. I'm going to put a link to his story down below. We call him Bob. He was a fantastic friend of mine. I met him at the age of about 97, and I got the opportunity to spend some time with him. Bob was a World War II submarine veteran. He was a torpedoman on the USS Perch. They left Pearl Harbor about 12 to 18 hours before it was attacked by the Japanese. And they were in the Philippine Sea and they got depth charged. They surfaced, the crew got into the water, and the captain went down with the ship. Scuttled it, it's what we call it. Now, the crew swam in the water, treading water for, I think Bob said, about 19 hours, 20 hours, while the Japanese stood by and watched them drowned. And then they pulled about 9 of them out of the water. The rest of them succumbed to probably their own, stamina. They drowned. There were sharks. And Bob was a POW for the better part of 3 years. Submarine torpedoman, POW on an island, the Japanese. Now, it would have been very easy for him to be the victim. And he told me every day what kept him going was because he wanted to get back and see his family in Iowa. He wanted to go back and raise corn. And his goal was to become a mailman. Well, Bob was rescued, and some of his other shipmates were not. But they were liberated. He made it back to the United States. And he hitchhiked back to Iowa. And he said walking up that farm road to his house, to his mom and dad's house, he saw the family cemetery. There was a headstone with his name on it. He went over and kicked it over. Walked in the kitchen. His mom was making breakfast. He said she fainted. She thought she'd seen a ghost. Now, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about here, but Bob had a second chance. He had a second chance at life. And these victims don't get that second chance. Those 3 little kids, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, they don't get a chance. They don't get a second chance. Luigi Mangione took away a dad, a father, a husband, maybe a grandfather one day. Carmelo Anthony took away a brother, a son. It's pitiful what we're seeing. But for some reason, society is placing the emphasis on the assailant, on the perpetrator. I gotta be careful what I say here. And I want to know when we did this. When did we flip the switch? In the Navy, we have standards. You can mess up. Go tell on yourself. And typically your captain will be lenient. You're still going to get punished, but you're going to get some leniency because you're told on yourself. And right now, America needs to start telling on ourselves. Because we cannot accept this level of morality that we have descended into. I'm talking Sodom and Gomorrah. This is the Philistines. This is everything you read about, everything you learn about when you go to Sunday school. And some of these people, when they go to prison, magically they get a little bit of religion in there, don't they? I'm just waiting, because this is the 25th anniversary of 9/11. I'm just waiting for someone to try to make the hijackers on those planes into the victims. You say stranger things have happened. Yeah, New York City elected somebody that probably aligns with most of those people. That's how we've gotten here. I don't know how we get back. Accountability is the priority. Compassion should be next. And I will say this, America has a victim problem. Because we, as a society, or at least some of you, are putting the label of the victim on the person that took the life of the victims, the real victims. And if you're one of those people,
Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned.
I don't even know how to start to praying for you. I don't know what prayer you deserve. And I'm sure there's many of you that will agree with me. But there needs to be a level of accountability. There needs to be a level of accountability in that courtroom. I think there needs to be a level of accountability of those people standing outside praising this woman. Love to get your thoughts, get your opinion. The comments in yesterday's video blew my mind. And I want to say thank you to all of those that have served this great country. And I'm going to say it right now. I'm not the captain. I've never been a captain. I've never been in charge of a submarine, never been in charge of a ship. I was just a dumb enlisted guy. But I'll say this, America is my ship. And I'm going down with this son of a bitch. I am not giving up the ship. And I hope none of you do either. For all you booger eaters that are aligning with Lindsay Clancy, Luigi Mangione, Carmelo Anthony, Tyler Robinson, and all of these other people that made a decision that changed someone else's life, shame on you. Shame on you. You are part of the problem. Rethink how you look at everything. If you need to get on some rose-colored glasses to improve how you see things happening, do it. They're about 20 bucks on Amazon. Go buy you something that changes your perspective. This is the Ben Dykes Show. I want to say thank you for tuning in. When I get up from here, I'm going to go to work. I think a lot of you probably need to do the same. Maybe not a job, maybe some work on yourself. Go take a walk. Talk to yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. Get right with the Lord. Get right with yourself. If you've got friends or family that you think are having a mental health problem, confront them face to face. Don't wait until you're sitting behind them in a courtroom. Don't wait until you're standing around them at a cemetery. Confront them. If you're a military member, you've got a buddy that you served with, give them a call. It's a Friday. Do a buddy check. Just check on them. Hey man, how you doing? I ain't heard from you in a while. You could change somebody's life. You could save somebody's life. You'll probably be surprised how much you feel better about your own when you check on one of them. I'll see you in the next one. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out the door. I'll see you tomorrow.